Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, like always, I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to our apostles, our elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, who will and teach on sound doctrine. Peace, love, and salutations to you. I came out there doing work with truth and sincerity. My brothers Zariah Allah down here at the GMS Virginia camp, back with another lesson through the spirit of Papa Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Not gonna make this too long. I got camp. Just want to get one in before camp through the spirit. Pretty much, as you can see for the title, it says various topics. Reason being because watching Elder Manata Zakbak, he did two response lessons. Going into how you got these Christian men or so on and so forth, saying that what's wrong with the Hebrew Israelites and that we're not going to have slaves in the kingdom of heaven. And then it was another video in regards to pretty much salvation and the things of that nature, and the blessings and so on and so forth. It applies to everybody. It doesn't apply just only to Israel, so on and so forth, man. So I just wanted to get a couple precepts, just to you know um, pull down the strongholds, okay, and these imaginations that these people have that is upon their mind. And that's why that Romans 11:7 is fully in effect, because hey, the Lord is only dealing with the elect. Okay, it is a small remnant that is only going to be able to hearken and believe upon this truth, and is going to believe within these latter days. Okay, Scripture says, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." Only the elect is going to have a stable mind within Jacob's trouble. All right, so I just want to read this real quick. This is Salakia. This is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, "For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel," right? Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Simeon Indians, man, you are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, you are the chosen lineage. Okay, the only nation of people that the Lord is dealing with, right? And it says, "Set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob." Right, but you have Christians. See, it says strangers, the Gentiles, they'll be joined on with the nation of Israel. No, strangers are talking about the Israelites. Now let's prove that, right? This is Exodus chapter 2 and verse let me see. We'll start at verse 21. It says, "And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter, and she bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land." Right, so that was a nomen omen to let you know that a stranger could represent the nation of Israel, because Gershom was Moses' son. Moses came out of the tribe of Levi, okay, which was later known as what? The Levitical priesthood, okay, which had Israel, okay, following the law, statutes, commandments, okay. Pretty much the Levitical priesthood would give up the sacrifices and send offerings and so on, so and they would collect all the tithes, everything of that nature pertaining to the law for the whole congregation of Israel. Okay, so when it says, "I have been a stranger in a strange land," that is an indicator to let you know, okay, that we were once strangers in a strange land. Okay, Israel is scattered amongst the other nations, which made them strangers. Okay, from the commonwealth of Israel. And just to prove that, let's get Ephesians. Right, get this real quick. This is Ephesians chapter 2 in verse 11. It says, "Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision." Right, that's a term. We were called uncircumcision, we were called Gentiles, we were called strangers. It's just a term, it's not an actual nation. Because it literally said in the verse, in the first chapter, it says Israel. Right, so that strangers is speaking about the nation of Israel, who are what? Being Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in flesh, made by the hands. Okay, so we will call uncircumcised by the circumcised, and the circumcised were the ones who knew that they were Israelites, who knew and were cultivated up into the land and knew who they were. All right, and it says that ye that at that time ye were without Hamashiach, being aliens, right, from the commonwealth of Israel, and what? Strangers from the covenants of the promise, having no hope, and without the Most High in the world. It says, verse 13, but now in Hamashiach Yahushai, ye who sometimes were afar off are made nigh by the blood of Hamashiach. Right, so that's letting you know that, look, through the blood of Yahushua Hamashiach, all right, we are now being made close to our Heavenly Father, right? Without Yahushua's sacrifice, we will not know who we were, we will not be calling ourselves Israel. We would not know this truth. Okay, it's all through the blood and through the mercies of Yahweh Shemi Shai, man. All right, now let's go back to Isaiah chapter 14. All right, Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1 again. All right, that wraps up the whole, you know, the Lord is dealing with the strangers. No, the Lord is dealing with the nation of Israel. All right, so this is Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1. It says, and the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land. Right? What is a possession? Okay, that's ownership. Right? Possess them in the land for the Lord of the Lord for servants and handmaids. What are servants and handmaids? They are slaves, okay, subjects, subordinates. All right. So you had this guy quoting, there's servants and handmaids. We're not going to have slaves and rods of iron and things of that nature. No, man, servants and handmaids, right? And it says, and they shall take them captives, right? So what is a captive? Someone that is subject to what? Captivity. Just like the Israelites were subject to captivity. When you read Revelation 13, 9 and 10, he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. Okay. This is the patience of the saints. He that ears to hear, let him hear. So that being said, we were put into captivity. We were put into hardcore bondage. We were put with a yoke of iron upon their neck. And the Lord loveth us. So how much more, okay, will he be there for us when it's time to put these other nations into captivity, man? All right. And it says, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. Who is the Israelites' oppressors? Okay. You goddamn Edomites, Elamites, right? Your Moabites, and so on, so all you other nations, right? You other nations that are outside of the nation of Israel. The Psalms, the 82nd chapter, goes into uh, pretty much, or no, Psalms, the 83rd chapter goes into the enemies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. These are the other enemies, okay, that have sold us off via transatlantic slave trade and so on and so forth, man. All right. So these other, the Lord is not dealing with these other nations, man. The Lord is going to put you niggas in captivity, and you're going to serve us in our land, in the land of Israel. And that's, and then because it said we will be put in our own land. That's an indicator to let you know that that's the kingdom of heaven, right? Let's get another precept. This is Psalms chapter 149, and I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Sing unto the Lord a new song, and his praise in the congregation of the saints. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name and dance. Let them sing praises unto him with the timbrel and harp. For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Who's the meek? The Israelites. Okay, the elect. The elect is going to receive deliverance, okay, from World War III, from the pestilence, from the plagues, from the nuclear missiles. All right. The elect is going to receive that salvation, man. So best believe we're going to be giving praise and dancing and calling on the names of Yahweh Shem Yahweh, man. All right. But then after that, what's what? It says, verse 5, let the saints be joyful in glory. What is glory? Okay, we're going to be in fine apparel. We're going to be immortal. We're not going to sin. All right. Well, hey, we're going to be perfect, right? It says, let them sing aloud upon their beds, meaning we're going to be in our rest. We're finally going to be in our everlasting rest, right? It says, let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. We're going to be gifted with swords and a crown and an arm. We're going to be unstoppable, man. All right. And it says to execute what? Execute vengeance upon the heathen. Who's the heathen? The ones that are not the Israelites. All right. And punishments upon the people. To what? To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So is that not hardcore slavery? Binding their kings and their nobles with fetters of iron. All right. You niggas is going to be subject unto us, man. All right. And it says to execute upon them judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. Right. So this is an honor unto the Israelites to be able to execute judgment upon our enemies, man. You niggas is going to get it. And the Lord is not showing no mercy for you other nations. The Lord is showing mercy on the nation of Yashar Allah, man. Period, point blank. You know, I want to get this last precept and close out. This is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 26. It says, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Right? The nations. There's 18 nations in the Bible. There's 18 nations that the Lord created. And the one nation that is not going to be subject unto the other nations is the nation of Israel. All the other nations are going to be subject unto the nation of Israel. Period, point blank. Right? It says, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. Right. So with that being said, the Lord is going to rule, okay, with the nation of Israel. All right. Starting with the elect, the 144,000. All right, the 12 apostles and so on and so forth. We're going to rule, okay, over these other nations with iron. All right. We're going to be delivered, okay, from all of our oppressors, from all of our persecutions, all of our, hell that we catching. We're going to be delivered. Yahweh Ratazah, So with that, I just wanted to make it quick, hit those 2 points, in a quick little response, to the elder. So with that, I pray and hope this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to our apostles and elders and bishops of Great Millstone. Until the next time, I say, Kwame Yasharala, Wafa Babor, and Shalom.